Hello and welcome. It's March 11th, 2026, and exactly 4 hours ago, an event occurred in low Earth orbit that completely shatters everything we know about orbital mechanics. Inside NASA's Mission Control in Houston, there's an eerie silence. Meanwhile, at Roscosmos headquarters, engineers are scrambling to understand what just happened. Why? Because the mysterious object, 3I Atlas, which we once believed to be a harmless comet, didn't just pass by the International Space Station. No, the data confirms that 3I Atlas matched its speed to exactly 27,600 kilometers per hour and physically connected with the ISS starboard trusses. Let that sink in for a moment. A comet, something that travels from millions of miles away in space, cannot stop. It doesn't have brakes, thrusters, or a guidance system. And yet, at 8:14 UTC, the onboard accelerometers on the ISS registered a hard docking shock. This wasn't just an accidental collision. This was a maneuver that can only be described as controlled. The probability of this being a natural occurrence? Less than 0.00001%. But here's where things get even stranger. The report just transmitted by the ISS commander over an encrypted channel is nothing short of chilling. The astronauts on board are hearing sounds. Now, you may be thinking, but Michio, space is a vacuum. Sound can't travel through space. You're absolutely correct. Sound waves cannot exist in a vacuum, but the astronauts are hearing something that's coming not from the outside air, but from within the very structure of the space station itself. The commander described it as rhythmic metallic grinding, followed by heavy thuds. It sounded as if someone or something was trying to open the airlock from the outside. Picture this. You're floating 400 kilometers above Earth, inside a pressurized tin can, and outside, a 4-5 billion year old object is knocking at your door. This is no longer science fiction. This is happening right now in March 2026, directly above our heads. The data I have in front of me, including spectroscopy readings from the James Webb Space Telescope and ground-based radar, points to a terrifying conclusion. What we've been tracking may never have been a comet at all. 3I Atlas is not a comet made of ice and rock. Comets don't perform precise docking maneuvers. They don't transmit rhythmic signals. What we've been witnessing might be something completely different from anything we've imagined. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the classified telemetry data that has just leaked. We'll see how the laws of physics were bent, broken even, to make this docking possible. And the most pressing question of all, if this object is intelligent, what does it want with the International Space Station? Because the sound frequency the astronauts are recording is not random noise. It's a code, and we're about to decode it. Stay with me. The truth is coming, and it's more mind-blowing than anything you could have imagined. It's 4 a.m. UTC on March 9th, 2026. Everything aboard the International Space Station is running as usual. The crew of Expedition 74 is asleep, and the ISS is cruising around Earth at 27,600 kilometers per hour, 10 times faster than a speeding bullet. But then, something impossible happened. NASA's Deep Space Network in Goldstone, California, detected an anomaly, 3I Atlas, which until now had been considered a harmless hyperbolic comet, suddenly altered its trajectory. In physics, we call this a delta V maneuver, a change in velocity. Changing direction or speed in space requires energy. It requires force. According to Newton's first law of motion, an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an external force. But comets don't have engines or fuel tanks. They don't have the means to change direction on their own. Yet, 3I Atlas did just that. Radar data shows that At precisely 4:12 UTC, the object began to decelerate. Its speed dropped from 44 kilometers per second down to exactly 7.66 kilometers per second, the same speed as the ISS. This means that a celestial body, traveling through space at a staggering speed, somehow slowed down and matched the ISS's orbit. Imagine this. If you were driving on a highway at 100 miles per hour and another car was coming at you at 500 miles per hour, that car could never just park next to you, it would destroy you. Unless that car had some kind of advanced braking system beyond anything we've ever seen. NASA flight dynamics officers initially thought it was a glitch. They rebooted the system, but the data didn't change. ESA and Germany's space agencies checked their sensors, and Roscosmos confirmed the data from Moscow. 3 independent agencies on different continents came to the same conclusion. At 8:14 UTC, 3I Atlas executed a soft capture, docking with the ISS in a maneuver that seemed impossible. External cameras on the ISS captured the moment. Imagine standing in the cupola module, looking down at Earth, when suddenly a massive shadow covers your solar arrays. This wasn't a small rock. The estimated diameter of 3I Atlas is 1.2 kilometers massive compared to the ISS. But instead of smashing into the station, 3I Atlas executed a controlled docking maneuver with an impact velocity of less than 0.2 meters per second. That level of precision is beyond human capability without computer assistance. Now, something even stranger begins to unfold. As 3I Atlas made contact with the ISS starboard truss, a series of sounds began to echo through the station's metallic frame. At first, it was just a dull thud, followed by the entire station shuddering as if heavy machinery were starting up. Then the rhythmic metallic grinding began, almost like a person trying to open the airlock from the outside. The astronauts reported hearing a steady pattern, clang, clang, clang. This is not random debris hitting the hull. Random objects don't have rhythm. This is deliberate, a signal, a pattern. The engineering team has analyzed the vibrations. They are classified as structure-borne noise, meaning that the vibrations are traveling through the ISS's metallic skeleton and becoming audible inside the modules where there is air. But here's where it gets even more unsettling. The frequency of these vibrations is increasing. At 9 UTC, the gap between each vibration was 4 seconds. By 10 UTC, it dropped to 3 seconds, and right now, as I record this, the gap is down to just 1.5 seconds. Something is accelerating. Dr. Naim Red, a NASA structure specialist, wrote an internal memo indicating that the harmonic resonance suggests mechanical coupling. In simple terms, 3I Atlas is not just stuck to the station, it's integrating with it, it's locking on. Consider the engineering implications of this. A 1-2 kilometer object from deep space, how could it possess a docking mechanism compatible with the ISS, or is it creating the mechanism itself? Micro cameras mounted on the truss have captured something disturbing. Where the contact occurred, the surface of 3I Atlas isn't just staying the same. The rock and ice that we expected are not there anymore. Instead, the material seems to be shifting. Metallic tendrils, thin, wire-like structures, are wrapping around the truss like a virus attacking a cell and injecting its DNA. This is parasitic behavior, and it's nothing short of alarming. If this is a machine, a technology, what is its fuel source? And more importantly, why does it want to connect to the ISS? At 8:30 UTC, the power surge detected on the ISS computers is a troubling sign. The station's batteries began draining at an alarming rate, but power doesn't just disappear into a vacuum, it has to go somewhere. The current flow reversed. The ISS was no longer generating power. Instead, 3I Atlas was siphoning it. Why? Could it be using the power to communicate, not for fuel? The most chilling revelation comes from the spike seen in the data stream. The current flowing back through the cables showed modulation, something that looked like binary code. But this wasn't our computer code. It was based on prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Mathematics. The universal language. Could it be that 3I Atlas is trying to communicate with us? Or worse, could it be hacking our systems? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the signals and uncover more of this mysterious encounter. The answers we're looking for may change everything we thought we knew about the universe. As the tension continues to build, the situation aboard the International Space Station grows even more bizarre. It's now 10 UTC, and something unsettling happens. An anomaly is detected by the airlock sensors. Now, when two spacecraft meet in space, like the Crew Dragon docking with the ISS, they need to create a hard seal. Metal must join metal to prevent air from leaking, but here's the catch. 3I Atlas, which was thought to be a comet, a rocky, icy body, had no docking port. So, how did it create a perfect seal around the airlock? The data shows something extraordinary. At the contact point near the S6 truss, the material of 3I Atlas has undergone a profound change. The ice and dust, the typical composition of a comet, have disappeared. Instead, they've been replaced by a metallic substance that behaves like a liquid ferrofluid, just like when you bring a magnet close to iron filings, and they align themselves with the magnetic field. That's exactly what happened here. 3I Atlas has transformed itself to fit the shape of the ISS's hull with perfect precision at a molecular level. This isn't just theoretical science anymore. This is programmable matter. In physics, we've speculated about materials that can change shape on command. But what we're witnessing right now above us is not a theory, it's happening in real time. 3I Atlas has fused with the ISS without welding, without heat-cold fusion bonding, as we might call it. This bonding goes beyond just the physical, it's also acoustic. That's why the astronauts are hearing those rhythmic sounds, those footsteps on the hull. Now, let's consider the implications of all this. Space is a vacuum, and sound doesn't travel in a vacuum. But if an object is walking directly on the hull of the ISS, the vibrations can travel through the metal structure and become sound waves inside. The rhythmic footsteps the astronauts are reporting aren't just random impacts, they are deliberate. The pattern is clear: thump, thump, thump. And here's where the situation takes another strange turn. The impacts detected by the ISS sensors are unusually heavy. In space, there is no weight, only mass. If something strikes the hull, it must follow Newton's third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. In simpler terms, if you push on the hull, you should be pushed backward. But no magnetic field was detected on the surface of 3I Atlas. So, where did this magnetic adhesion come from? How could this object generate the necessary force to adhere to the ISS without any detectable magnetic field? The answer lies in the data that was just leaked, an even more shocking revelation. The ISS magnetometers recorded a sudden spike in activity. A powerful electromagnetic field is being generated from within 3I Atlas. But it's not a static field. This pulse is dynamic, pulsing like a heartbeat. One pulse every 1.5 seconds. And this pulse isn't just affecting the magnetometers, it's interfering with ISS systems. Lights are flickering. Life support systems are rebooting. But the most concerning aspect is that this pulse contains information. When we analyzed this frequency, we didn't find random noise. We found a complex pattern, a geometric pattern, fractals. Fractals are common in nature, like in snowflakes, coastlines, and trees. But perfect mathematical fractals in an electromagnetic signal, that's something we've never seen before. The Mandelbrot set, which is known to be a mathematical fractal, doesn't appear in nature, but here it is, transmitted from an object millions of miles away. This isn't just an alien phenomenon, it's a calculated message. Now, let's pause for a moment and think about the implications of this. 3I Atlas is not just a comet, it's something far more advanced. It could be a container or a probe, a vessel with a purpose. And we're not just dealing with a strange cosmic object, we might be witnessing the presence of an intelligence far beyond our own. As the ISS crew continues to observe and analyze the data, they notice something even more unsettling. External pressure near the contact point of 3I Atlas is rising. Pressure in space is zero, but near the contact point, a local atmosphere is beginning to form. Gas is being released. Spectroscopy confirms that this gas is a mixture of nitrogen and oxygen, Earth's atmosphere. Now, think about that. Nitrogen and oxygen, the very air we breathe. Why would a comet, traveling from deep space, release an Earth-like atmosphere unless it knows exactly what we need to survive? This is not an attack. This is not an alien invasion. This is a compatibility check. It's as if 3I Atlas is creating an environment in which it can open up, almost like it's preparing to communicate or interact with the crew of the ISS. At 9:45 UTC, another new sound is recorded. It's no longer the rhythmic footsteps. It's a hydraulic hiss, like a door breaking its seal. The astronauts are now floating in zero gravity on the other side of the airlock, listening. Listening to who or what is trying to access their safe haven? What is on the other side of that door? And as the temperature readings from the ISS sensors come in, the results are even more puzzling. Stay tuned, because the next phase of this encounter will take us even deeper into the unknown. The answers we're looking for may just change everything we thought we knew about life in the universe and about our place in it. At 10 UTC, something even more startling happens. The ISS sensors detect a sudden spike in temperature. Space, as we know, is incredibly cold, minus 270 degrees Celsius, but outside the airlock, the temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, the temperature of the human body. This defies all laws of physics. There's no astronaut conducting a spacewalk, no external activity that should be generating this kind of heat. So, whose heat signature is that? What is causing this anomaly? The astronauts aboard the ISS are now faced with an unexplainable phenomenon. The temperature on the outside of the airlock has risen to the exact temperature needed to sustain human life, but there is no human present, no human activity. The only explanation that even begins to make sense is that something inside 3I Atlas is generating this heat. But what is it? Is it something alive, or is it an advanced machine designed to mimic human biology? As if this wasn't strange enough, the data now suggests something else entirely. The pressure inside the airlock is rising. Space, which is a vacuum, shouldn't have any pressure at all. Yet, sensors inside the airlock are showing a local rise in pressure. It's as though 3I Atlas is creating its own environment, one that mimics Earth's conditions perfectly. The astronauts can feel it, the temperature rising, the air thickening. What could be happening inside that airlock? What could be waiting just beyond that threshold? The ISS crew has now reported hearing yet another sound, one that is completely foreign to them. It's not the metallic grinding or rhythmic thuds that they've become accustomed to. This sound is completely different. It's a hydraulic hiss, like a heavy door breaking its seal. This is the sound of a mechanism that's working. Something inside 3I Atlas is attempting to open. And as the hiss continues, the astronauts are filled with uncertainty. Are they about to face an encounter unlike anything humanity has ever experienced? Minutes later, the airlock pressure begins to equalize. The sounds are growing more intense, and the astronauts are bracing for what's to come. The real question now is, how did 3I Atlas manage to generate the perfect seal around the airlock? We're not talking about some simple mechanical trick. This is something much more advanced, something that bends the laws of physics. As the astronauts stare at the sealed airlock, they are left with one mind-boggling question: what is on the other side? But before we can understand the full scale of this event, something even more terrifying takes place. The ISS sensors pick up something else, a signal, but it's not coming through the normal communication channels. It's not on radio frequencies. It's coming through the laser communication system, a secure channel that's never been breached before. This signal is coming directly from inside the airlock, transmitted towards Earth. And when NASA decodes it, what they discover shakes them to their core. It isn't an alien message. It's not a mathematical equation or a map from another galaxy. No, it's a photograph. And this photograph isn't of stars or celestial bodies. It's a photograph of a human who doesn't belong to our time. This figure, with perfect symmetry, looks both prehistoric and futuristic. His features resemble ours, but there's something unmistakably different about him. In his eyes, stars are reflecting, and beneath the image, there's a text string written in binary code. When translated, it says the same thing in every language: we have returned. The implications of this message are staggering. It raises more questions than it answers. Who are these beings, and why have they returned? If 3I Atlas is carrying human DNA, as the data suggests, could it mean that Earth was once their home? Could they be our ancestors? Or perhaps we are their descendants? The possibilities are endless. But one thing is certain: this is no longer just a cosmic encounter. This is a profound revelation about the very nature of our existence. As the astronauts continue to process this astonishing revelation, another new sound emerges from the airlock. This one is unlike any sound they've heard before. It's a rhythmic heartbeat: thump, thump, thump. 6 beats per minute, exactly like a resting human heart. The ISS commander reports that something is inside the airlock. It's alive. The atmosphere aboard the ISS is tense, and emergency protocols are now in place. But even with their weapons ready, the astronauts are not attacking. They want to know what this is. What is inside the airlock? Who or what is trying to make contact with humanity? At precisely 10:20 UTC, a new signal is transmitted, this time not through regular communication channels, but through the laser communication system again. And this signal, when decoded, reveals yet another shocking truth. A human figure appears in the transmission, but this time it's not just an image, it's a message, and the message is clear: we have returned. As the astronauts continue to stare at the image, they are left with one last haunting question: are we ready to meet these visitors? Is humanity prepared for what lies beyond that airlock? The story is far from over, and the final chapter is just about to unfold. The time has come to face the unimaginable. The ISS commander, with the weight of the world on his shoulders, stands before the airlock. His hand hovers over the manual override lever, an action that could alter the course of human history forever. Orders from Mission Control are clear: do not open the inner hatch. But the commander, compelled by the urgency of the situation, makes a decision that defies orders. He's going to open it. He has to know what's on the other side. The crew has no idea what awaits them. Their lives could change in an instant. They could be opening the door to an alien encounter, a new chapter in human history, or they could be inviting danger, something far worse than they can imagine. But one thing is certain: the world is watching. What happens next will redefine our understanding of life, the universe, and everything in between. As the commander begins to turn the lever, the station's systems flicker, the pressure inside the airlock equalizes, and the inner hatch slowly creaks open. The sound of it grinding against the frame sends a chill down the astronauts' spines. As the hatch opens wider, a cloud of smoke begins to pour through. The astronauts brace themselves, unsure of what they will see. Then, through the haze, a shape becomes visible. It's humanoid, but there's something eerily unfamiliar about it. A figure, but its details are obscured by the blinding light behind it. The figure steps forward, and just as it reaches out its hand toward the astronauts, the video feed cuts out. The signal is lost, the camera feed goes dark, and mission control goes offline. What happened? Did the astronauts make contact? Or is this something even more terrifying than we can comprehend? A final audio transmission was recorded. 2 simple words, "Welcome home." But the real question is, who said them? Did the astronauts say it? Or did the figure on the other side of the airlock speak? The mystery deepens. As the world holds its breath, the final moments aboard the ISS remain shrouded in mystery. The last transmission from the ISS was a chilling one. The crew was on the brink of making contact with something beyond our understanding, something that defies every known law of physics, biology, and human comprehension. The message, "Welcome home," could mean many things. Is it a greeting from an alien species? A being from our past, our future, or even from another dimension? The implications are overwhelming. The data that was transmitted to Earth before the video feed cut off is being analyzed, and what's emerging is nothing short of mind-blowing. The coordinates included in the message were not GPS coordinates. They were galactic coordinates, a star map. The problem is, when astronomers cross-checked those coordinates, something extraordinary happened. The map didn't match the stars as we know them today. It didn't match our current universe. The stars were different. The constellations were altered. The map pointed to a time in the past 65 million years ago, the time of the dinosaur extinction event. This revelation has sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Could it be possible that 3I Atlas, the object that docked with the ISS, is not an alien invasion force? Could it be a time capsule, or perhaps an ark from a distant past? The species aboard 3I Atlas may have fled Earth during the catastrophic event that wiped out the dinosaurs. They survived in space, they evolved, and now, after millions of years, they've returned. But the biggest question remains, why have they returned now? Are they here to reclaim their planet, or are they here to warn us? The sensors aboard 3I Atlas detected something troubling in Earth's atmosphere, rising carbon levels, increasing temperatures. Could they be here to show us the consequences of our actions? Is this an intervention, a warning from a civilization that has witnessed the cycle of life and death on Earth before? The message from 3I Atlas, "We have returned," carries more weight than anyone could have imagined. It's a message that changes everything we know about human history, evolution, and our place in the universe. It suggests that the Earth we know may not be the only version of Earth. What if our ancestors weren't the first to inhabit this planet? What if we are not alone, not only in space, but in time? As the ISS crew stands on the edge of a momentous decision, they are left with a final challenge. Will they open the inner hatch? Will they meet these visitors face to face? Or will they abort the mission and return to Earth, forever leaving the answers behind? The decision rests in the hands of the astronauts. But as they prepare to face the unknown, one thing is certain: humanity's understanding of the universe will never be the same again. What they find beyond that hatch could change our reality forever. Will they make contact, or will they retreat in fear of what's waiting on the other side? Stay tuned. The answers we've been searching for are just a step away. This could be the most important moment in human history, and it's happening right now.